Well, Bradford Ferguson, it says here at the top of my list of things to talk to you about that you have invented a new term. And I think, I don't know, should we tease that and bring it up later, or should we start with that? I'm not sure.
Let's say what the term is and we'll describe it later.
Okay, the term is vertical automation.
That's right.
Vertical automation. So I guess we'll tease it. We'll have
I
to,
don't know if I invented it, but I haven't heard it before.
okay, all right. And so you're going to tell us what that is. Yeah,
Mhm.
make that maybe the third or fourth story. But you have had plenty of controversy this week. You didn't have to invent a word. You say it here. You said you're calling it. This is not like maybe. You're not
Mhm.
like saying, well, I think there's a chance. No, this is something that you said on X the other day, as part of a back and forth. You're saying something about advertising. Tell me what you're saying here.
I don't want people to unsubscribe to you or block me or whatever. And certainly neither you nor I are smarter than Elon.
Oh no, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm noticing is the X accounts for Tesla are very, very active. Many more videos that they're producing. And they just produced this video for Cybertruck where it's just very punchy. They show it like from a top down, opening the frunk, opening the tonneau cover with like a bunch of work stuff, and they spin it around, and yeah, it's just super punchy and 25 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting time.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, Perfect time for an ad, and then like check out the new Tesla Cybertruck or like some kind of tagline to go with it. These accounts have been very active, and it's my sense that they're gearing up to advertise for real this time.
All right. Now, everybody that I've ever talked to about this thinks that it should be during football games.
Hmm.
So we're just there. I mean, it's like starts next Thursday, right? I think I'm a little. I didn't look it up, but I think the season starts next Thursday.
Yeah. They could do that, or they could wait till like V14 is out, but it seems like in my sense is that it's going to be less than 6 months. They'll try another effort at advertising.
So again, as I've talked about this with other co-hosts and whatnot, everybody thinks that version 14 would be the ideal time.
Hmm.
Unsupervised would maybe even be better, but version 14 might be give some kind of an offer, some kind of a deal to get people into the stores. On the other side of the coin, one could argue that we're not going to need any advertising in the third quarter. Now, it might sell more FSD, which would be a very
Yeah.
high return on investment.
Yeah, with advertising, you do need to prime the pump. So like one ad generally is not going to get
Uh-huh.
someone to order the car off the internet.
Not unless you're Apple and you do the number one commercial of all time in the Super Bowl and you just happen to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. Version 14 is going to be really good. I got 𝐑𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐷 to comment on the leap that I think version 14 is going to have. He thinks it's at least a 10x, and it is probably closer to like a 100x improvement. So, two more nines off the march of nines. So potentially, one intervention every like 500,000 miles or more. And
Mhm.
then Elon replied to him saying that he believes version 14 is two to three times better than human.
Right,
And
right.
humans get in an accident every half a million miles or so.
So if
So
it
that
was,
would mean Tesla is 1 million to 1.5 million miles per accident.
you know what? That's the first time I've had it all that explained to me this way. I'm glad we brought this up because it's on my
Yeah.
list to talk to you about because there was quite a bit of conversation. quite a few people going back and forth with that discussion.
Yeah.
And I never really figured out, yeah, so you guys were all kind of talking different stats.
Yeah,
So
and Elon, what I think people are misinterpreting
yes,
what
yeah,
Elon said. So, like, there are a lot of people who are saying that Elon was saying that version 14 was 2 to 3 times better than
right,
13, which
right.
he did
No,
not say. He
no,
clearly did not say
did
that.
not say that. You're
He
right.
said better than human,
Right.
um, which is that's huge. And
Huge,
we saw a
huge.
similar 100x leap bare minimum from version 12 to 13, and
Yeah.
this was verified by Altimeter Capital.
Yeah.
Um, Elon also said, but wait, it's not going to be perfect. So there still will be some rare edge cases. So it's not zero accidents per infinite miles.
Right. Right.
That's not what Elon said.
And it's
Uh,
probably not zero disengagements over infinite miles either.
yeah. So he said that there's still going to be rare edge cases, but he believes it's going to be better in human, and that will have a similar jump in capability. And there's obvious things that you need to fix, which is going to filter out a ton of the disengagements, and then they're improving the model size by 10x, and we don't know how much that's going to improve
Right.
the performance. It could be a 10x improvement and maybe only like a 3x improvement. We don't know. But they're going to add that on top of their normal approach of just tackling edge cases.
Yeah. So I've been saying I
So
don't know.
people just don't seem ready for this. There's a
Yeah.
lot
So
of bulls that are
yeah.
pushing back on me, like
Yeah.
threatening
I
to
think it's because
mute me or block me or call me an idiot.
I think it was misunderstood. I think you're 100% right that it was misunderstood. I misunderstood it, quite frankly. I didn't misquote it, thank goodness, but I did misunderstand it. Because I've been saying for months and months that all that FSD should have to be for Robotaxi is better than Waymo.
Yeah, for one. Yeah.
That's
And
all.
and Waymo is getting in a lot of fender benders and the media
Yeah.
doesn't report on it.
I reported this morning that a big long report out of Reuters where they went and talked to the cops in Austin. They said, "Oh yeah, we write citations for Waymos, but we don't even write all the citations because it takes too long. We don't want to be bothered. So there's lots of times that we just let it pass." So yeah, they're still making lots of mistakes. But if it's better than Waymo, then it should be ready to pass regulatory approval everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's but 2 to 3 times better than humans would definitely be better than Waymo.
Yeah, it'd be a lot better. I'm not for sure, but um, I don't think Waymo is better than like an accident every 250,000 miles. Like I think it's much worse than that. There were some statistics from California that were much worse. But I'm guessing they've improved since then. But yeah, it sounds like from their experience in Austin, the various videos we see, that it's maybe an accident every 250,000 or worse.
Yeah, and the accidents are one thing, but the
It being a nuisance,
big
stopping
nuisance.
traffic,
Yeah, that's
going the wrong way, and then like totally getting stuck, and then other Waymos following their way and like plugging up whole streets.
yes. Yes, those would seem to be a bigger deal than even the occasional accident at 20 miles an hour. So because we know there's still going to be accidents. So there's going
Yeah.
to be accidents caused by other cars that aren't even caused by Waymo or the Tesla.
And
Um,
there's some people saying, yeah, you don't want the Teslas to get in any accidents, but
right.
some are saying that that Tesla cannot get in any accidents
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it. Um, so I disagree with that, but you definitely don't want to have an accident where someone dies. So,
Oh, that would
maybe they
happen.
avoid the highway for now, just because it's much more dangerous.
You know,
Not because a Tesla is more dangerous, but just the highway is more dangerous.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure that's even true. We should ask Rock later. I think most of the accidents that involve death are not on the highways. They're actually on the surface streets because of somebody running a red light at 60 miles an hour, or somebody going the wrong way at 35 or
Mm.
40 miles an hour, and the other person's, going 35 the other way. That's a 70-mile-an-hour crash. And or people going over the side of the road. I think those are where most of the accidents that are the serious with big injuries and death. I know we have a rough corner here where I live, and we have an ambulance involved accident every probably 2 or 3 months, just right down the street from me. And it's a 45-mile-an-hour zone. It's not a 70, it's not a 65, but 45, you can have a pretty significant accident at 45.
So I was wrong. I heard a bad stat or something. So in the US, 41% motor vehicle crash deaths occurred in rural areas, which
Rural, that's really interesting.
includes highways
Yeah.
generally. And then city streets was 60%. So you're
60%.
right, more higher than average. And
Yeah,
it's typically going to be knuckleheads that are going more than two times the speed limit.
yeah. Or they're drunk.
Yeah.
They're trying to make a light, that kind of stuff. My worst accident ever was getting T-boned by somebody trying to make a red light. And there was no skid marks at all before they hit me. So that's a rough accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm not terribly, even if I certainly we're hoping they don't have any accidents that involve the loss of life, but I'd be more concerned if that was an accident caused by a Tesla, even though an accident that was clearly caused by the other driver would be a headline getter, but I think it would go away over a minute or two.
Yeah. Yeah. That this makes sense. So I maybe they should try out highway because
Heck yeah,
Teslas are very safe on highways. It's
they
just the
are.
highways that aren't safe.
Yes, exactly. All right, so we've got the Tesla FSD 14 probably coming out in September, 2 to 3 times safer than human, acts like a human, acts even better than 13. And quite frankly,
Mm.
I've said it over and over again on my show, my 12.6, I'm always just blown away by the humanness of the way it changes lanes in traffic and really rough traffic. It finds its way, into tough situations, sometimes even a little more aggressively than I might do it. It's
Mean
nice.
finds its way out of tough situations.
I haven't had any tough situations that needed to find its way out of.
Okay.
Yeah. I did some real serious roundabouts on this last trip. So there you
Okay.
go. One of them was pretty weird though. It seemed to bail on the roundabout. I'm not sure. I'll never know for sure if it thought that was the way it needed to go or if it was bailing. But
Mhm.
it took the first turn, and I think it was supposed to take the second turn. But anyway, but generally speaking, it's very polite. Somebody mentioned that today. Very
Yeah.
polite.
I'm seeing it stop for pedestrians a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Even when the pedestrians are clearly waiting for the cars to stop,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I typically wouldn't stop for those people.
I wouldn't
But
either.
my Tesla does, and I let it.
Yes, yes. All right. So we also had Tesla down today after 3 up days, a very, very good last 3 days. But it's down today, or was it 4 up days? 4 up days, I guess.
Mhm.
It was down today, and people are saying it was because of the sales numbers out of Europe, where it was down 40% year over year. You and I just did a lot of research on that, and we were shocked to see that we're only talking about 8,500 cars. So it was down from, I guess, 12,005 to 8,005. That's not a lot of cars.
It's not a lot of cars. I'm shocked those numbers are so low. Like, so that's like an average of 100,000. It's not going to stay that low because July is the first month of a quarter.
Right.
So typically the sales are going to be much stronger toward the end of a quarter.
Yeah. So we're looking at only
But
100,000.
capacity is it should be at least 250,000, if not 300,000 in Europe. And they do have another line that's not being used yet.
Right. Right.
Tick, 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 tick.
So, of course, CNBC, I've been pointing out on my show for the last few days in the morning that we're seeing very good sentiment in the MSM. I mean, mainstream media. I mean, seriously, I haven't seen this good a sentiment, I think, in the entire time I've been following the stock. No, almost no rough articles, no fuddy articles where they're making up lies. Some very neutral or even positive articles, like a Reuters
Mhm.
article this morning that was very neutral to positive. That was a shock. A Forbes article, a Fortune article, all positive this week. Uh,
Well,
so CNBC is the first day today. They kind of seem to get all over this negative news out of Europe.
mhm.
And
Yeah, I've been noticing some positive news. It so happens that hedge funds are long Tesla now, and it's like becoming a favorite of hedge funds allegedly.
yeah.
So
So
that's a little suspicious. I did see, I didn't like scour the news for all the Starship headlines, but I saw an amazingly positive um, from Good Morning America, which I think is the most popular morning program on mainstream media
yeah,
on ABC. Like it was amazingly positive. The only thing that was like slightly off was um, when the ice comes off of Starship. Maybe that's when like the plasma starts to warm it up again. Like they acted like that was debris from the Starship.
I see. Okay.
But other than that, it was really positive, and they didn't even give Elon the business about the explosion at the end.
The explosion at the end.
Yeah, gotta entertain, right?
It was entertaining.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do, of course, watch. I see literally probably over 1,000 headlines a day, and I would say that the headlines on Starship were neutral to slightly positive.
Yeah.
There's no exuberant. I did not see one exuberant
Okay.
headline, and I would think that there would have been at least one or two
Mm.
headlines that just go, wow, that's just amazing. The
Yeah.
largest object ever put into space with by far the most thrust, with by far the most potential for the future in terms of how it's going to help the planet. And you'd think somebody would have been enthusiastic about it.
I was very impressed with the fake satellite launch.
Yeah.
They showed how they can um, like systematically or an automated way push the satellites out of Starship through like little Pez dispenser.
That's the Spencer. Yeah. Yeah. Right. All right. So we know that the IRS has made things really, really good for Tesla for quarter three and now quarter four by changing the rules with regard to when you can get your order in. You have to get the order in by September 30th. So we've talked about that a lot the last couple of days on the show.
Yep.
And we also know that China, the Model Y L, is obviously going to really help sales in China. Have you guys thought through how that might impact Model Q? When do you think it's going to roll out? Do you think it'll roll out in China first? Or how do you think that's going to work out now with these two big pieces of news that we've had
Mm.
impacting third and fourth quarter sales?
That's a good question because the Model Y L is definitely very popular in China. The wait time for that is stretched out into October, whereas the um, other Model Ys and 3s in China, the wait time is 1 to 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So people are excited about the YL. Um, I think it. if Tesla was intending to release a compact in China first, the success of the YL might slow that down.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and I'm not sure they'll have space to start making it in
Yeah.
California or in Texas with
Well, they
the
do have space in Texas, so there's a unused
oh
Model
there's
Y line.
oh there is. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be great then. They could
as far as I know.
okay.
Um,
And then Berlin, it would seem to be obvious they should absolutely make it in Berlin.
yeah, they have an unused line there too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, with China, um, there's still the potential they start it there or test it there, just to
Hmm, hmm.
get information faster from that.
Yeah. All right. So we've teased it. Now I'm going to bring it up. So
Yeah.
what in the heck is vertical automation?
So it's bringing the concept of vertical integration to a service business.
Vertical.
So like
You're a service.
vertical integration, you're a manufacturer, Randy.
Yeah.
Um, so it's about like owning the process like through all your software and your processes and owning the data too.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so what the state of play generally is a lot of service companies they use off-the-shelf software
Yeah.
and um, sometimes it can be generic, but a lot of off-the-shelf software has a lot of features. But it's so many features you don't use them all,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you can't use them all.
No, you never will. No.
And there's also customizations that it doesn't have that they will never implement into the software because you're one customer to them, and yeah, they're not going to do it. And um, our software developer here, he said, no one asked Microsoft for a feature, some kind of feature, right?
Yeah.
Because you're one customer to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone might have, but
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
you wouldn't have gotten good results from that generally. Um, so what's exciting about AI is you can use it in an agent way so that it's doing multiple steps in a row. It's looking at what you're wanting to accomplish and iterating through that. Um, and so you can get your data from these pieces of software, whether it's your client relationship management, whether it's accounting, whether it's like if you have orders online and dealing with orders,
Hmm.
um, and maybe even with the service business. So like, selling newsletter, letter or coaching or consulting or whatever. Um, there's several different pieces of software, and with AI, if you get access to your data, you can just create your own software. And that's exactly what we're doing. And um, a big realization this week was that it's really good at looking at our documents and knowing what the purpose of it is.
Hmm.
And we further challenge it with a question on whether this document is signal or noise.
Hmm. Hmm.
And noise being not really useful that much for our future purposes, as far as we can guess.
Hmm.
But if it identifies signal, then that means there's something in there that would be helpful or would have been helpful at the time. It's really good at identifying both the signal versus noise and what the document is, what the purpose of it is. And
Interesting.
it really surprised me how good it is at both. Um, So, we're using it for looking at documents. We're not sending these requests to OpenAI.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, you're kind of doing for your own company what Palantir apparently is doing for companies, where they go in and they just feed all the documents into their, I mean, all the company's documents. into the AI and they ask the AI to tell the company what they should be doing differently.
Yeah.
And it's just apparently it's just changing companies completely, adding dramatically to their bottom lines and challenging them in new ways to do business in better ways. So you're kind of doing a Palantir on yourself.
It's similar. So we're not using it yet for decision making.
Okay.
So, we're making the decisions as far as it comes to what kind of investments or advice that we give
Sure.
clients,
Sure.
that sort of thing.
Here's the
But we are using it to filter information.
so here's last week we did a brainstorming session and
Mhm.
it went pretty well. So we'll try again here.
Okay.
I found in my business, and for those who haven't followed it, my largest business, I've had over 40, but my largest business was a manufacturing business. We had about 100 employees.
Hmm.
And in the course of running that, and it was pure manufacturing, it was vertically integrated. And of course, like you said, we had all these programs and we paid monthly or whatever, or one-time fees to get these programs. What I found as the CEO, and also true of my managers, you can't remember to do everything every week or every month or even every year. So I always thought of myself as only having 5 jobs.
Uh-huh.
I had to oversee the sales manager, my partner. I had the credit and collections. I had the profit. I had
Hmm.
manufacturing, what do you want to call it? The
Strategy,
strategy, but basically the
tactics,
cost of goods. I had to manage and make sure
right?
my cost of goods stayed in line. And then I had the marketing, which was my primary function, of course. So I had those 5 things to do. And every year, at the end of the year, as I'm looking at my numbers, I go, you know what? I really didn't pay enough attention to credit collections last year.
Mm.
So then, of course, that year I would spend my time, I would really concentrate on credit collections. And then the next year I get to the end of the year, I go, man, I should have spent more time on sales. It would seem to me that AI, if nothing else, could be hmm, the CEO manager or the credit department manager, or it could be the reminder on a regular basis. We used to have what do they call them? They call them the system might alert you. It would say, "Oh, your 90 days is
Yeah.
a little bit too far out.
Mhm.
You should really come in and look at your credits and see who you should call."
Yeah.
But then you had to have those metrics in there to make it happen. But with AI, you wouldn't have to have the metrics in there. AI would say,
Yeah. So, so you could put an automation in place to either trigger the AI to look at it or to give you a reminder.
yeah,
Um, AI by itself, if you don't have it fired up, if you're not interacting with it, it's not suddenly going to give you a reminder.
right,
But you could have it easily create a reminder system for you.
right. But I would think it could do it top down for the CEO, the owner,
Hmm.
the person who's most in charge. It would seem like it could just look at the P&L and you could basically have it creating a P&L every day, with whatever data is coming in. And you could say, okay, every day I want you to look at that P&L and I want
Hmm.
you, anything that you see that's out of kilter, uh, alert me, show me, just send me a report. What's out of kilter today, and what should I do about it?
Hmm. Yeah, you could do that with monitoring
Yeah,
and have it look at patterns in the past.
yeah, exactly. What's out of pattern? What is it? What's going to hurt us bottom line, or what is going to hurt
Hmm.
us up top line? What's going to hurt us? Are we seeing a sales drop? Is there a margin drop? Is there a mix drop to where we should contemplate changing the mix because we're seeing a mix drop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
So,
I'm yeah, I'm finding it incredibly powerful. I gave it context around my business, around projects, and I told it that I wanted it to write me a speech for the vision of the company,
yeah,
over the next 10 years.
yeah,
Um, so it knew like what I was wanting to accomplish and all that. And it gave me a good speech, was pretty vague. It was like in my industry and all that. So then I started to add some context, and I remembered a goal that Matt Smith and I have, and it's to 10x or grow by tenfold our assets under management over the next 10 years.
Right.
So right now they're about like 565 million. Um, and so we're talking about 5.65 billion in 10 years.
Yeah.
Uh, and I had like another 10x on my mind, like to reduce paperwork by 10x, for new clients, that kind of thing. The burden to our office. And I thought it'd be cool to have 10 things that we 10x in order to arrive at the result.
Right.
And so I had to write that out. I read it, and it was like a lightning bolt.
Wow.
Like I'm like, all these things do add up, and probably would result in a 10x like that. Um, and I set the goal for like 10 years out on these different projects, but realistically, nearly all of them are possible today,
Mm.
and we could get them implemented in probably 2 years or less.
Wow.
So yeah, we're really excited. I think we can take one of our portfolio management functions from like 3 hours each time we make a major change. It can be like 3 hours for us to update all these different percentages. I think we can take that down to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty darn amazing. I mean, I'm using it every single day in multiple ways. I'm just
Mhm.
I'm really waiting. I think there's going to be some additional things here coming up that I'm kind of anticipating really changing my life. Uh, I wouldn't mind getting down to, working 6 or 7 hours a day instead of 10. That would be okay.
Mhm.
That would be okay.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, listen, I've been mentioning online that that on this program that we're trying to move into way more conversations about AI.
Mhm.
Obviously, we've got the book coming out about AI.
Yeah.
And so on the AI subject today, Time Magazine put out a list of the top 100 leaders, thinkers, um, etc., in the AI world.
Okay. I'm ready.
You ready? Well, so here's a couple of funny things that came out of this one. So Elon Musk was
Yay.
added. He wasn't there last year,
Mhm.
and he was added, and he was actually the second one listed on the new list. I don't know if it's in any kind of order at all, but
Mhm.
he was right up there at the top of the list.
Okay.
So clearly, that's going to be a very nice thing for Elon to be on that list. So adding him was kind of, I just had to laugh. I mean, did they even ask Grok to give them a suggested list of the top 100? Because anyway, Sergey Brin is not on the top 100.
That's pretty crazy.
The Pope is on the top 100, but President Trump is not
In AI.
in AI leadership.
Okay.
President Trump is being called, right? He's being called the Bitcoin president or the blockchain president or
Mhm.
because he's all about AI and all about the
Yeah.
cryptocurrency. He's set up an entire new department to deal with it. He's hired Sachs to do it. They've already passed a bill that was a bipartisan approved bill to deal with the cryptocurrencies. And
And and Joe Gebbia, he's working for Doge. He's going to rework all the federal websites,
every single one
26,000 websites using AI,
using AI
and do it for free.
and do it for
He's founder of Airbnb.
right. Yeah. So the president of the United States, who's been called, I mean, regularly,
Yeah.
an AI president, doesn't get listed, but the Pope does. I mean, bizarre list. But
Yeah.
I want to let everybody know that the book is going to have a list of the top 100. I think it'll be a better list.
Hmm.
So people should look forward
Do
to
I get to vote? Is it a like a power ranking?
it would be very difficult, but I will certainly pass it around to the readers. So it's going out to all the readers here in a few days. And so
Hmm.
it goes out to all the readers. That 100 list will be there, and I'm sure people will probably poke fun. I mean, probably have opinions.
Well, in your book, I'm going to talk about vertical automation
All right.
using AI in a service business and getting ready for artificial superintelligence, which you know, getting ready and embracing AGI would be a crucial piece to being ready for artificial superintelligence.
Absolutely, 100%. Um, Says here, Sawyer Merritt says Montana is awarding SpaceX Starlink $119 million to bring high-speed internet to 20,000 underserved locations in the state.
Wow.
That is huge.
Very good.
A thumb
And
in the,
it's a low cost way to do it. It's not faster than fiber, but it's getting close.
yeah,
It's a very good service, so I'm glad to see that happen. It wasn't right that the Biden administration stripped SpaceX from the award they gave them
yeah,
because
which
they're
only
the low cost solution, and it's better than I think it's better in cable internet generally.
and faster, faster,
Yeah,
faster to install.
yeah,
Yeah, you can do it like tomorrow.
exactly.
Just go out and hand out
Like
the code.
turn on, point at the sky are the directions.
Exactly right. Anyway, that I thought that was a really good piece of news there for those folks. I'm beginning to think that the integration between the companies is probably going to accelerate. We forget what night it was. We were talking about that Grok. My vision or my theory about Tesla was that they were going to need Grok really bad. They really need Grok. They really need the LLMs. They need what's happening at XAI. You know, the services, they require those services really, really bad. It's a really important thing. And then all of a sudden, there was a paper that came out a couple of days ago that said that the next level of intelligence is going to require an environment.
Right.
That's you have to have an
Mhm.
environment to put your content into, and that the environment is being produced by who? Oh, Cortex. Oh, Tesla. So it may flip now, and
Mhm.
the XAI may be more reliant on Cortex than Tesla is on Colossus.
I think Tesla should get the fair end of the stick because XAI was complaining about not having fresh data to present to their models.
Right.
There's like no new problems, text-based problems that they can give it, and it's hard to create novel or new problems. So not just like substituting different numbers, like new types of problems. It's hard to create those and grade them because they're believed to be beyond human intelligence.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, way beyond mine, I can tell you that.
So what they believe they need now is training in real life and getting that real data and comparing it to what your physics calculation said was going to happen or whatever.
Right. And the entire environment, as opposed to words or phrases or even, a context window with 100 million words in it.
Mm.
Now you need the context of the environment, all of the environment, all of the elements coming in all different ways.
Mm.
That's the next level.
So
That's
you
kind of,
need vision and robots, which
yeah,
is what Tesla provides.
exactly. So that that'll be an interesting next chapter. Okay, I'm going to throw this one out too before we go. I think I have a minute. Yeah, we still have time. Good. So I was listening to Peter Diamandis' his show the other day, and they were talking about on AI again that man has always been trying to extend himself, make himself superhuman.
Hmm.
Even the invention of fire was to create a superhuman capability. The invention of the wheel, just go through all history. It's always making men better,
Hmm.
more, more capable, optimizing the ability to be better than to to control the environment, control daily
Yeah.
life, etc. So obviously, AI is just another step in that. That's just another lever. We're just stepped up one more
Yes.
lever.
Hmm.
But AI, potentially at least, and it looks like it's going to happen right now or soon, AI is the first tool that ever could improve itself.
Right.
So this is kind of maybe the singularity,
Hmm.
which is your systems, the ones you're working on right now. Once you get those vertical integrations done, and you've got a few more months of data coming after that has been done, you can now ask the system, we'll take a look at the data that we've got for the last 3 months. How can we even do better
Right.
than we already are? How can you improve yourself
Hmm.
to be able to give me more information? So this would be a first in history, and this may be the real deal when it comes to what AI is all about.
It's it's actually really good at evaluating itself, even for large language models. So one thing we tried yesterday is there was a document we sent through OCR, so optical character
Okay.
recognition, to um, look at a scanned PDF to determine what the text is. And the OCR was okay, but it was getting like a word wrong like every few words. Like
Right.
it the it it seemed like by my read that the accuracy was less than 90% per word. So all we did was we sent the OCR result, not the image, the
The,
result to a large language model. And we said the prompt was, so I'll give this one away for free.
sure. There you go.
The prompt was, this text is from, and I didn't even tell it what type of
Mm.
context it had. This text was from a OCR software, and obviously got some words wrong. Can you correct the words that it got wrong to the best of your ability? And it did a really good job
Wow.
at just fixing those words without even being able to see the image because it understands language so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So it knows, okay, there's some bad words. Okay, maybe it's this third word. It doesn't really make sense in the sentence. So it's probably this.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. So maybe the next step
So
then,
it's self-improving.
yeah,
Like you can just have it judge itself.
judge itself, but how about then going back and saying, what can you do on the next read to take this step out of the loop?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
You
I
could
don't,
do, you could do that to save a little compute, but like these inference steps really don't cost that much money. It's
hmm,
pretty cheap.
yeah. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of them are less than a penny.
Yeah. But you have to, it's still two steps, right? So your time is worth something. I
That's
don't,
true.
I'm not sure what, but
But
I'm,
you can have it work 24/7 for you. Like
yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that could be like some machine that's just extra out there for you. It's
Yeah.
like the vacuum robots you have automated in your
Right.
house.
Yeah.
We have one that's really, really good now. It's called Matic,
Hmm.
like the word automatic, but just with
Yeah. Yeah.
Matic. and it's a floor vac or a robot vacuum, and when you have it do like an extra strength vacuum, it takes like over 3 hours
Oh my goodness.
to clean a level.
Huh.
But it does it all,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like, I didn't have to.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it took longer.
Yeah, exactly. Nice, 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 nice. All right. Well, anything
It's a bit of perspective,
it
I'd
is.
say.
It's all
It's a
perspective.
perspective shift.
That's right. All right. Well, anything I've left out of the economic issues of the day, anything I've left out of the Tesla issues of the day or the AI issues of the day that you feel we need to discuss?
So I'll just go back to the annual vision speech that I mentioned because I don't think I quite completed
Okay.
what I was
Okay.
wanting to say. So the whole vision I outlaid was a, a 10x
Right.
in 10 different areas
Right.
of our business for 10 years.
Right.
I did say that, but um, you make all these high intensity processes, much shorter, and it's just going to free up so much time and energy for us to be in relationship with our clients,
Right.
or find a new investment, or think about how we can employ a tactic differently that's a little out of the box, that type of thing. So what shocked me about all of it is it's gonna work. It may be only in 2 years, and I believe it all is gonna add up to the improvement that'll lay that groundwork. And I'm really curious to see, how things change over the next 2, 3 years.
Yeah. 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 You need to.
Oh, the other thing was, and I don't think I mentioned this last week. So, Sam Altman came out and said AI was overhyped. And this MIT study came out and said 95% of businesses did not get economic value from
Yes.
these large language models.
Yes.
So that part of the study is correct from the MIT study. But what they found was it was a difference in implementation. So only half to like 60% of businesses got past like the investigation stage with these large language models.
Yeah.
So they didn't even try.
Right.
So I don't think you really count those for the like the
No.
failure stat.
Yeah.
But then there were like about 40% or so of businesses who began to iterate on a problem. So like began to program something that was custom for them.
Hmm.
But then many of those made mistakes in how they did it. So um, I think the way to develop software, and I'm not a software developer or engineer, but is it's one step at a time.
Yeah.
So you take a step, you try it out, you see if it works, you get some feedback on it, and you do that each step of the way, so that when you do get feedback, you need to focus on, what's the most important thing we can tackle next. Like
Hmm.
that's what you're trying to find out from
Hmm.
feedback. So it might be 90% of this is junk, and then you filter that out for the next step. And then you find out what you have left after that. Like that might be one step. Um, so it's incredibly exciting.
A lot of these companies were also trying to take a big package and implement it company-wide
Oh yeah, yeah.
all at once.
Yep.
And they didn't have buy-in.
Mhm.
With my little company of 100 people, I've implemented those kind of packages, and you can't implement, like to your point, you almost can't implement them all at once. Or if you're going to, you're going to have buy-in and know you've got buy-in from every single person that's impacted.
Yeah.
It takes one. It only takes one person to drag their heels or try to or get in the way, and it messes up the whole thing. And I've put in some for the time very sophisticated systems
Yeah.
I consider to be harder than my first year of law school. to
Mhm.
implement. But
Yeah.
we did implement them, but it was because we went department by department. We made sure we got it right in manufacturing before we asked
Mhm.
bookkeeping to
You
look
got
at
that
it.
feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one mistake they identified is that a lot of companies just tried to just do a huge project and didn't get feedback along the way. Um, and then another criticism was that the project they decided on didn't have value as far as reducing costs or enhancing profit, but it was like a sexier way to implement the AI. Maybe as a chat bot, but they didn't even measure like the effectiveness of it or whatever.
Right.
Um, so what they recommend or saw people get value out of is doing it for their back office, and that's where we're going to be focusing significant resources doing that.
Yeah, and also they found, I don't know if they found, but I've heard a bunch of different podcasts on this subject over the last week. And what other people are saying, smaller companies will do much better than bigger companies.
Yes. Hmm.
Younger companies will do much better than established companies, and younger people will do much better than older people. So those are, and one guy even said, look, if you're older, if you're a millennial, you need to think when you're putting the system in, you have to think like a Z. You can't think like a millennial.
Hmm. There was this quote from a Mark Andreessen interview, and I guess uh, he was talking about Watson at IBM, and he had a program called the Wild Ducks program.
Okay.
So what these wild ducks were is they could do uh, IBM was very large,
Right.
so any division wasn't agile enough to get things done
Right.
that were innovative. So they essentially gave free license to these people who became known in the organization as wild ducks, and they could pull people off projects so they could grab resources and go off on their own and get stuff done and then bring it back.
Yeah.
Um, and there's this whole culture around it where allegedly one of them in some kind of meeting, like, just was like put his cowboy boots on the conference table, wearing shorts or something crazy like that. Shorts and cowboy boots. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
these people were characters and were allowed to get away with anything, but
Yeah.
you need that disruptor, that culture that's going to allow it. And so what we're not going to do is like our people, so we have 15 employees, or we got 14 now, but so we have software that we're using that works.
Mhm.
So we're not gonna go to them tomorrow and say, "Hey, you can't use that tomorrow," and we don't have a solution for them. We're gonna do this in steps
Sure.
and allow some kind of transition, or maybe we'll meld with the existing software. I don't know. I've rambled on too long.
You're fine.
I'm
But
Bradford Ferguson with Rebellion Air, and he's Randy, and he's going to get you right to the numbers.
thank you as always, Bradford.
Yep. My pleasure. That's your line.
Is that my list? Oh, my pleasure. All right. We're going to get right to the numbers, and the numbers are in the after hours. We have got Tesla up 10 cents actually. So there you go. That's what we want to hear. So down 380 for the day, now up 10, up a nickel, up a 10 cents, up a nickel. Anyway, you get the point. It's up a little bit in the after hours and the overnight now because we've passed the after hours, gone into the overnights. And let's see then, where do we go from here? We go to the bonds. We have got the bonds. Actually, they were down just a little bit last time I checked. Now they're up just a little bit, but we're still sitting at 4.20 or 4.21. So this is really, really good. Got to get it under 4.0. But we're getting close. We're getting close. We've got oil. Whoops. We've got oil down a little bit, $64.19. Been hanging out in this 63 to 65 area for quite a long time now. Natural gas is, as I said this morning, looking like it may go back over $3. Maybe are we now going back into fall? And so natural gas will be popping up a little bit as we go back into fall. I'm not sure, but at least for the moment, it is up 1.29% in the pre-market. Gold breaking records every single day. We are now at 3,476, another all-time high. Silver 39.19, this far away from an all-time high. Copper at $4.47, which is again pretty much where it's been day after day after day. The dollar is treading water, but slightly up in the pre-market right now. And we have got Bitcoin only up 394 today, still sitting around 112 bucks, 112,000, I mean, 112,454, up 394 for the day. Then you've got the pre-market on the equities. The Dow up 0.11, I'm sorry, start over, Randy. The Dow down 0.11, S&P down 0.05, and NASDAQ down 0.08. So what we're basically saying is the market continues to be extremely, extremely flat. We've got the PCE tomorrow. And so that is, no matter what happens, we're probably going to get some action tomorrow, even though it's the last day before Labor Day. And then we go into we should see slightly more trading starting on next Tuesday. And then it'll just get more and more all month as people get back from their vacations. So we look forward to what's going to happen next week. Later on tonight, we got CERN Basher. Yeah, of course. Phenomenal. Do not miss it. Mark your notifications or whatever. Do whatever you have to do. Come back and see CERN tonight. We had really an amazing time. And we talked about new stuff that you've never heard us talk about before that is mind-numbingly interesting. So check that out later tonight. And I guess normal folks tomorrow. Big weekend, packed weekend. I already got 3 of the shows lined up for the weekend, and they're going to be, really, really seriously important. And I got a couple of other ideas that might even be better than that. And it's a long weekend, 3 days. So plenty of time for lots and lots of content during our days when there's not as much news. All right. Okay. That's all I got right now. And of course, it's been great talking to you.